First of all, thanks for having me. Some of the coaches have reached out when I got the job, and I'm very appreciative of that opportunity. We are had day 14 of our spring football practice. Things are in transition, so we're trying to continue to evaluate and process our roster and see what type of moves that we're going to have to make with the transfer portal, and also keeping the guys that we need to keep on our roster. Very pleased with how the kids have bought into the culture of our program and how to practice and how we want to demand the standard of walkthroughs, the way we do meetings, and just carry themselves as young men on our campus. With that being said, open the floor up for questions.
All right, for our media on the call, please raise your hand and I'll call on you to ask your questions. We'll start it off with Brady.
Hey, Dell.
Hey, Brady.
You kind of mentioned the evaluation you're having to do with your staff. Having to look at the whole roster, how have guys been able to maybe make themselves stand out? Like, what are you looking for in this early period of evaluation?
We had a big install on both sides of the ball, so we're really seeing who can learn, who can process, so who can kind of see who fits in our system from an intellectual standpoint, but also how they progressed over the 14 days of minimizing the mistakes that they may have made earlier in spring ball. So the thinking component, situational awareness that we presented to our kids has been a big plus for us, but also it has given us a tool of deciding on guys' capacity to think under pressure and in unpredictable situations.
And I wanted to ask, spring games tomorrow afternoon, Pastor Troy doing a halftime show, concert. I was wondering how that came together and kind of the thought process for deciding to have that happen.
Yes, we want to welcome the city of Atlanta, and Pastor Troy is well known in the city of Atlanta, and he offered his services, had a prior relationship that made a connection with him and I, and he was more than happy to perform for us. He actually came and visited our team, and that went really well. The kids, of course, all the kids didn't know his music, but once they heard a couple of songs, they knew the song, but they didn't know who sung the song. So that was very interesting. So I think Pastor Troy will definitely resonate with our, I guess, 35 and up crowd. Maybe not all the way to 70, but probably 35 to 65.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Brady. We'll kick it over to Joe.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned assessing transfer portal needs and that sort of thing coming up. In terms of the guys that are on your roster right now, what aspects of that roster excite you the most at the moment?
I wouldn't say anything excites me. What I am excited about is just their willingness to work, how hard they've been trying to do things the right way, and also just the discipline that they have of punctuality. Yes or no, sir, and just kind of abiding by the standard that we're trying to develop here.
Thank you.
Coach, I know you didn't coach him on the field, but what would having a guy like Jontre Hunter selected in this year's NFL draft do for Georgia State and for your program moving forward?
I think it shows that Georgia State can produce NFL quality players. And that's the type of players that we want to attract to Georgia State by, recruiting the state of Atlanta and the remaining state of Georgia, including that 5-hour radius from Atlanta. I think Atlanta provides a great marketability for our players, extreme access to future employment and business opportunities. And that's one thing as a vision of ours as a staff is to graduate 100% of our players and have them transition 100% into some type of career after they're done playing here at Georgia State or in the NFL.